San Francisco is a progressive city of hope and ideas. And for Hayley and Lachlan Webb,
otherwise we can go to the aquarium.
It's a place that might one day help save their lives.
So here we are in San Francisco. It's very busy here and much chillier than Queensland.
This Aussie brother and sister have travelled halfway around the world to take part in a groundbreaking research project.
We are at a hospital in San Francisco undertaking a sleep study. And as you can see, I am looking more robot than human at the moment.
They are on a mission to find a cure to the rarest of diseases, a waking nightmare that is killing their family. One day, Hayley and her brother will wake up and never be able to go to sleep ever again.
Police say they've received around 160 complaints over the past year.
That's a spike of almost 30%. It's exciting times here at SeaWorld with one of
Queenslanders know Hayley as the bright and bubbly Channel 9 news reporter.
Just wait until next year's record attempt.
A rising young star in the Gold Coast newsroom. You like reporting?
I do like reporting, yeah. It's different every day. It's exciting.
What about being the subject of a story?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different one. I mean, I'm obviously used to being on one side of the camera and having it flipped around is a bit daunting.
I've worked with Hayley over the years. What is the latest on his condition, Hayley? But I only recently discovered her family's devastating history.
My auntie passed away at 42, my mum passed away at 61, my grandma passed away at 69. In saying that, mum's brother died at 20, so we're just hoping we're not one of the young ones.
Have you been surfing?
Define surfing.
Right now, 30-year-old Hayley and 28-year-old Lachlan are fit and healthy.
Stay in your lane.
But they both carry the same genetic ticking time bomb that could trigger any day. It's a disease called fatal familial insomnia, or FFI.
In my early teens, I remember becoming aware of it, aware that we had this family curse.
All who have the gene are destined to die from it. This confronting footage from a sleep clinic in Italy shows how FFI torments its sufferers. There is no treatment and no cure. The disease stops its victims from ever falling into a deep sleep. Instead, they hover in a twilight zone that leads to rapid mental and physical deterioration and death. Hayley's family is one of only 40 in the world that have it.
My grandma started getting sick and dying. Her eyesight went. She had signs of dementia. She was hallucinating and couldn't talk. Eventually, she was diagnosed with FFI. That was the first time that the family even were aware that FFI existed.
Hayley's family lived in the shadow of this terrifying disease, never knowing when it would strike again. In December 2011, Hayley's mum, Narelle, started showing the first symptoms.
I remember leaving for work to my new post on the Sunshine Coast and mum saying, you know, like, have a great day, have a great first day, you know, I'm so proud of you. And then getting back, and later that week, she was calling me Jillian and she thought I was the housekeeper. Like, it was incredibly aggressive.
Deep inside Narelle's brain, a devastating transformation was taking place. FFI causes clumps of abnormal protein that damage nerve cells, eventually forming sponge-like holes in the thalamus, the part of the brain that regulates sleep.
Your body's not allowing itself to rejuvenate at all. So it's sort of like being awake for the last 6 months of your life.
Having lost the ability to fall into a deep sleep, Narelle's dementia-like symptoms soon progressed to full-blown hallucinations.
Mum's first child, Julian, passed away at 6 months of age before Lachlan and I were born. She would wake up in the middle of the night convinced she could hear a baby crying. We need to save the baby. We need to save the baby. And she would get out of bed and try and get down the stairs, but of course her balance was off and she would fall down the stairs.
The disease took Narelle's mind, then her body. In the final weeks, she couldn't walk and couldn't swallow. Just 6 months after that lethal gene was triggered, Narelle lost her fight for life. So hard for you to see her decline like that, and so quickly.
Yeah, it was. Now to face the big life moments like getting married and having children and house hunting and all of those fun things that she should be around for. It's just not having her around for those moments are just...
You miss her.
I really miss her. I really miss her. Yeah.
Boy, you've had some big changes, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. For American couple Sonia Valabar and Eric Minical, fatal familial insomnia has been both devastating and life-changing. In 2010, they watched Sonia's mum, Camney, go through the same traumatic symptoms.
Things started to progress extremely rapidly. She was too weak to stand and balance. If she tried, she would fall. But she was too confused to remember that she was too weak to stand. So if you left her even for a second, she would try to stand and then fall and hit her head. We had no idea what was happening. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Months after her mother's death, Sonia found out it was FFI, and tests showed she too was carrying the same genetic mutation. Sonia was a law graduate. Eric worked in transport technology. Knowing that their time together could be cut short, the couple quit their jobs and devoted their lives to the quest for a cure.
We didn't know anything about biology. I mean, when we found out this was a genetic disease and that it was dominant, we had to look up what that meant.
It's hard to imagine now that there was a time when we didn't have such a pressing motivation to get us out of bed and get us to work every day.
The husband and wife team are now leading researchers at the prestigious Broad Institute in Massachusetts.
Every person who comes forward to participate is like a quantum leap in the amount of data we have.
Working at the frontier of genetic science, their achievements have been recognized at the highest level.
So now we know the molecular mechanism of our disease.
This is like our greatest weapon.
In the wake of her own mum's death, Hayley was desperate for information. And when she read about Sonia and Eric online, she got straight in touch. It was the start of a long-distance friendship between strangers with the rarest of bonds.
They have such a personal reason to get there. He wants to save his wife's life. She wants to live so they can turn old and grey together. And I just think,
and they're smart cookies as well, right?
They're real smart cookies, much smarter than us.
And he went to MIT. I know. I don't know how we'd go trying to do that.
And now she and Lockie have been inspired to play their own role in the search for answers. Which brings this Queensland brother and sister to San Francisco to take part in a pioneering study at the University of California. So you guys have come an awful long way. What's going to happen in the next couple of days?
Well, basically, I think we're just guinea pigs for the next 48 hours. We do cognitive testing, motor skills testing. We have an overnight sleep study. So, yeah, hopefully they'll be able to use their findings for a cure. I mean, that's the hope.
It begins.
All right, so Hayley, we're about to start the cognitive testing.
Hayley and Lockie are undergoing a battery of tests.
So there's going to be a green dot. stare right at the green dot. A little puff of air is going to come out. That's going to measure your eye pressure. So I'm going to put my hand on your forehead.
With so few people in the world carrying the FFI gene, the reality is they themselves may hold the key to their own survival.
So it is currently just after midnight. We are at a hospital in San Francisco undertaking a sleep study. And as you can see, I am looking more robot than human at the moment. I am covered in electrodes, literally from my head to my toes. So hopefully they get some good results out of this.
And we do a few more tests tomorrow and then fly home back to Australia. So sweet. Hopefully everything goes well. Night.
Most doctors in the world will complete their training, complete their career as doctors, and will have not seen a single case of this. So,
Dr. Julio Rojas is a behavioral neurologist working at the front line in the race to cure this fatal disease.
putting this into perspective, this is a very rare disease. We're talking of more rare than 1 in 10 million. So having 2 individuals that are carriers here for us is very valuable.
What hope is there for a cure?
I want to stay optimistic. I hope that in our lifetime we'll see something to prevent the disease.
For Haley and Lockie, there's one more important thing to do. Meet up with Sonia and Eric.
G'day!
For the first time, they're face to face with someone outside their own family who carries the FFI gene.
Good to meet you.
So exciting to finally meet you guys.
I know, this is my brother Lockie.
Hi.
This is so wild.
How was it to finally meet Eric and Sonia?
We've spent so long talking to them online. So to meet them in person after all these years was just incredible, and to see the headway that they're making in terms of research is just, gives us hope.
Because you've done the clinical trial twice, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, even before that,
Even though it is like not a nice thing to share with Haley and Locke, it's like it is a pleasure to meet people who get it.
exactly, we would love to be at the point where we're doing a clinical trial. And for that, we will need people to stand up and say, like, I want to be tested. So I feel like we can't move forward without people like Haley and Locke, right? We need them on our team.
It could happen tomorrow, but until we're really in that danger zone, we have probably a good 10 years up our sleeve. And I'm just like praying that there's a cure between now and then. And essentially we could be hit by a bus tomorrow. Like, why spend all this time
Can't worry about it.
wigging out about FFI when we should have been wigging out about buses? Like,
Oh, you're so snuggly.
Haley and Lockie know this most confronting of diseases could strike at any time, but they're determined not to let it rule their lives. You're on a quest now to rid your family of this curse.
Yeah.
I don't want to just sit here while the sands through the hourglass pass, waiting for it to trigger and for me to cark it. I want information, I want answers, and I want a bloody cure.
What do you think of it?
Bloody love ya.
You can't put it into words.